Hey, this is a YouTube video for servicing or fixing your Kenmore Elite dishwasher. This is an Ultra Wash series made by Whirlpool. So you could have a Whirlpool dishwasher, which also makes Kitchenaid, or private labels other brands such as IKEA. However, this is my particular model. It has a white door. You may have a stainless steel door. You may have buttons in the front. You may have buttons on the top. It all depends on what flavor you have. But what's more important is the guts inside of the dishwasher. This is the kind of the core of the Whirlpool series. This is this type of dish. If you have something looking like this inside, you may not have the blue little things in the back. That's like a pot scrubber option. But if you have something that looks similar to this kind of look here, then it's a Whirlpool series dishwasher that we'll be talking about how to take apart. Mine was really didn't wash all that well after, I've had it for 10 years now. It wasn't washing all that well, and I took it apart and it was plugged up pretty good with toothpicks and other things. It was amazing it ran at all. I'm taking it apart for a second time to replace the chopper assembly, which I had to order a part for. So I thought I'd show you guys how to do this really simply. Now, you may have different baskets inside. You may have different clips, depending if you're a Kitchenaid or Kenmore or Whirlpool, but the guts are the same. So some models have more insulation for quietness, different colors, different plastic options. Let's start by removing the top basket. Now there's a little clip here. Take your time looking at this clip because they'll break quite easily. Just study it carefully. You gotta remove these clips here, like that. It may be different depending on if it's a Kitchenaid, Kenmore, or Whirlpool. So I'm taking these clips off here now. And they're a little bit tricky. So just take your time and study it. Now that you get that off, you can just pull the whole top basket out. We need to do that. And then she comes out. We can just get you. Just send it on its way down the floor. Okay, so now we have the basket gone. We have now this whole back plastic assembly here just pops out. It just kind of sits in there, and you can kind of just pop it out like this. It's in pieces. Before we do that, let's also remove the bottom washer blade or propeller, whatever you want to call it. Now this looks like something difficult to do, but actually you don't need a vice grip, guys. All you need to do is just hold the middle here, and you just turn this counterclockwise, and it'll come off quite easily. And you'll see a filter screen here. So you will need some screwdrivers. You will need a special screwdriver. Actually, you will need a Torx type thing. If you don't have them, if you have one of those universal bit sets, you're already set. Or the way to go to the store and pick up a T20 bit, and we will very quickly remove Yes, I wish I could fast forward this right now. Okay, there's the fourth screw is hidden underneath here. So we're gonna have to take this guy out. Let me see if I remember how to do this smoothly. Let's do a quick. Just move the camera there. Like I said, this is raw and unedited, guy. Now you can also separate it here. It might be an idea to try that instead. Okay, this comes out, and here is your fourth screw. Okay, so that's your sump. So in here is your sump, and you may find some food debris. Let me just take the camera off the tripod. I mean, if you have a sponge or a shop vac, it's a good idea to clean it out right now. So this is your sump in here. In here, in here is your chopper assembly, which behind here, which we're going to remove in a second. You may find some food debris and stuff down here. And I'm just going to turn the camera off real quick, and we will get back. All right, we're back. So there's one more screw here to take out. You need a T15 Torx bit to do that, and that's right here. Once it comes out, this guy just pops right out like this. Pretty easy. And you're going to see toothpicks like that one there. Lots of crap. You'll be embarrassed. Mine looks pretty clean because I just cleaned it up not too long ago, but it was full of stuff. Now this chopper assembly is missing its chopper because I had to order a new part. You might be having to fix this too, but we'll get to this in a second. So this is a good time to take a shop vac and clean it all out. There's a little flapper valve here. You should get a little pair of pliers. There's a little rubber flapper valve here. I'll show you that in a second. It's a little flapper, so it goes one way. So really, debris is supposed to suck one way out when you're flushing, when it back flushes. So you want to take a piece of plier and pull this little flapper, just a little rubber piece out. And you want to get your fingers in here. You want to make sure you clean. There's nothing, no glass, nothing stuck in here. We'll look at the chopper assembly in a second. This is incomplete. Let me see if I have my chopper assembly. I'll show you that in a second. I'm looking around real quick for it. No, not close by. And we're going to replace this chopper assembly as well. So this is going to be full of stuff right now. So clean it all out. You'll find that the chopper assembly isn't really that. It's just mainly for mashing up food debris and stuff. She ain't going to be you know, chopping up glass or anything like that, bones or anything. So whatever the sales guy told you about the chopper assembly is not true. That's me. So I'm just going to take a sponge or a shop vac and suck this water out, which is what I'm going to do right now. Oh, you see a toothpick's jammed in there already in the blade there. So I'm going to clean this out right now with a shop vac, get the water out. But if you don't have a shop vac, just take a sponge, paper towels, just mop up that water that's in there. Just makes it a little easier to work on, and we'll get back to this. Alright, so I just sucked out the water with a shop vac. Once again, just use a sponge if you don't have one. Okay, this is the flapper valve, and I just remove it like this with a little pair of pliers, and it just controls the direction of water flow when it's back flushing. And you should put your finger through here, make sure there's no glass or anything in here stopping that from working. As part of this thing, when that's done, you can just put the flapper valve back in again, like that. Now, the chopper assembly is this guy here. This is a brand new one. My other one was toast, completely worn out. It sits in the front here. It drives off the motor and spins. The spring-loaded mechanism will actually connect to the pump motor itself. And I will explain how to put this in a second. Now, you don't necessarily have to mess. It's a little bit tricky putting in. So I would just, you know, if it looks okay, don't mess with it. But if it doesn't look okay, then you should get a new one. Let's see the part number for this puppy. I think, let me look at the invoice. The part number for this guy is Whirlpool part number 826838. So 826-8383. 826-8383. Call now. The chopper blade dishwasher assembly. So I guess it's using a lot of Whirlpool dishwashers, and mine cost me about 16 bucks. So you can get these at most part stores online or even on. Okay, we're back. So there is the chopper assembly there installed. This is how you'll see it when you take it apart. Now, once again, the sump looks nice and clean, but it'll be pretty disgusting when you take this thing out. So it won't be as clean, but don't feel embarrassed. You know, 10 years, there's gonna be a lot of crap in there. and you'd be amazed once again that it runs it all. And once you get it cleaned up, you notice the dishes will be will be more efficient and more cleaner. This guy here will be full of stuff, tangled with all kinds of stuff. So food and debris and hair and whatnot. So clean it all up. Now I put the chopper assembly back in, and I'm going to take it out and show you. Don't mess with it if you don't have to. But you know, if you're in there, you might as well replace it with a new one. I'm going to put in a tripod, so so I can use both my hands. Can we focus there? Beauty. Okay, good. So you're going to need a flathead screwdriver for this. So I'm going to, and it's spring loaded, and it connects to the pump motor. So if I turn this, I'm turning the pump motor. And you take a flathead screwdriver, stick it in there like this, pull it back, and out it comes. I think I bumped my tripod there. Let me see here. Okay, so there she is right here. Out again and spring loaded. This part here connects to the pump. So putting it back in, you're going to see, pay attention here, you're going to see these little grooves right here. Right, it's almost squared here. This is the down part. This is where it's going to line up. It's going to go straight down like this, okay? So pay attention to that. There's also a little tricky little thing to look at carefully. It's kind of hard to see here. I'll zoom in there, see if I can get it there. Is actually, if she focuses, she may not. Okay, there's actually two slots here. There's a slot here and a slot in there. It's the outer slot you put this guy back into, okay? So if you're going for the inner slot, you won't be having much success. So once again, a flathead screwdriver. I'll see if I can get this guy back in for you. Okay, so once again, lining up on the outer slot, and this right there, and the little square part. See here, tripod's in the way. Take my flathead screwdriver, kind of pull it back a little bit. Outer slot. Okay, now she's in the slot, but you need to get your screwdriver in behind here and push back, and the little tab, there we go. Now she's lined up, and if you want to turn this, you should be turning the pump too. You'll see it turning. So you're looking good. So there she's all back in. This is the guy that chops up the food. Your flapper's back in, you clean things up. Now you put this guy should go back on quite easily. If it does not go back on easily, then something is misaligned with your chopper. So you just kind of put her down like this. Like that. And then you're going to put the screw back in here, and that's it. It's kind of a little grabber thing here. It kind of grabs on one end. So only one screw is needed to get it back in. So I'm going to now just put the screw back in. The chopper assembly, if this does not go down easily, then your chopper assembly has not lined up in the upper groove. So just, you know, do a wiggle check. It should kind of just drop right in effortlessly. And using my Torx 15 bit. So Torx has got kind of a funny star thing to it here. Let me see if I find it. The screw that I took out. Here she is right here. Okay, so kind of a funny looking star thing. Now you might already have this. If you have one of those universal bits, or your little drill bit set that came with, stuff that you never thought you never ever use. Otherwise, just go to your hardware store and pick up a universal bit set for $5 or something like that, or security bit set, sometimes they call them, and she'll be in there. So you need a 15, a size T15 for this screw here, and also a T20 for the 4 screws I showed you earlier. Okay, beauty. She's looking good. Now once again, you may have a plastic interior. This is stainless steel. It might be white. The propeller part, the spray part, might look different. You might have Kitchenaids, you use like 4, where this only has 2 that I took off earlier. And another thing, let me put this part back in. This is like this is like a filter here. And we were dishwashing can, like, you know, we did it, if we open up a soup can or something like that, we would kind of throw it in the dishwasher, go to the room before we put it in recycling just so it's clean. The paper on the can would kind of disintegrate and make a film over here, so we don't do that anymore. So just keep that in mind. Don't put anything in with wrappers. So this pipe here will line up with that hole down there. And this guy is back on. And I put my switch back to my T20 bit now. Torx bit. Yeah, why they couldn't use a standard screwdriver is beyond me, but it's not that hard to come by. Don't let the fancy name of the screwdriver scare you. Like I said, if you have one of those little security bits that's for $5, you bought a Harbor Freight or whatever, it'll be on there. And this screwdriver here came with a big mega screwdriver set that I bought at Canadian Tire, because I'm Canadian. But in the States, you can get it at Harbor Freight or something like that. Beauty. Okay, that's done. Next, I think this guy goes back in. Gasket thing on top there. Push it down. And this guy goes back in. I just connected it this time from the whole assembly there. In. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to put the whole back assembly back in that clip thing and clip it in here, or you could just kept this on the whole assembly and clipped it in, whatever is easiest for you. And then you put the propeller thingamajig back on, which we'll do in a second. But once again, depending on the brand you have, Kitchenaid, Kenmore Whirlpool, the guts are going to look a little bit different, but the principle of this core here is the same. So this applies for multiple different dishwashers that use the same foundation. It's expensive to re-engineer this every time, so Whirlpool will reuse this in all different levels of dishwashers that they have. So let me just move the camera out of the way, and I'll finish this assembly here, and then we'll get back to you in a second. Okay. Snap that back in. Put the top back on. Good. We're good to go. So, now we got that back in. So it didn't take that long, did it? Let me just get the tripod out of the way. I'm just gonna back up here again. One step I forgot to mention. We put it back in again. This guy should be kind of loose. So let's back up again. Get this out. Now you put the centerpiece back in. You might push the centerpiece down a little bit too far, and that's okay. What will happen is let me just get this guy back in. Okay. What happens is when you put the propeller part back on, it's not going to screw in. It's because it's sitting too low down. So just grab it and pull it back. Just pull it, loosen it a little bit. It should be loose like this. Okay. Then you can put your propeller back on, holding the center, and just tightening it up. Going clockwise, okay? There she goes, right? She should be spinning like that. Okay? Beauty. Now I'll snap that centerpiece back in. Let me see if I can get it right here. Got a jammer in underneath there. I can't get all the way in there because the tripod's in the way, but we'll see how I do. Use my long arms. There we go. Okay. snap in there. Okay. Okay, let me just move the tripod a little bit back, and I will get in there a little bit easier. There she goes. There, now she's in. Push top back. And she's done. And now if you want, you can give it a test drive. And what you want to listen for is to make sure you don't hear any grinding sounds from your from the chopper assembly. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around now. I don't bother with baskets back in yet. And I'm just gonna run it for a test drive and see how she sounds. Now, you should notice your dishes should be a lot more cleaner. I certainly did. It's the top rack that really was suffering. When it's so plugged up with stuff over 10 years or 5 years, it will start to degrade the quality of washing. And doing this, just simply taking it apart and cleaning out the sump, will improve the washing quality of the upper rack and lower. If it looks like you have wear and tear in your chopper assembly, mine was totally worn out, then replace that as well while you're